Yes. Hello, Jess.
Hello.
I am so happy you decided to join me on my debut as a curious
Mm, mm,
conversationalist.
mm, mm.
And we talk a lot behind the scenes, and I thought it would be fun to share our conversations with our Instagram communities. So, will you introduce yourself as well? I'll let you say what you
What were you
because
gonna
it's
say
very
as one of the
interesting.
most.
Yes.
Yes, so I am Jess McKinley Uyeno. All the names, all the characters behind the scene. I am mentor to the most interesting women in the world. And yes, a mentor to Andrea as well, because I have really leaned into this idea. My son is in school right now and he's getting like report cards and the feedback. And I was thinking back and I asked my dad to find some of my old report cards to see what they were saying about me. And it was like spot on exact same thing that they're saying to him, which is like really engaged, really friendly, like excited to come to school, genuinely likes to be there, likes to learn, is like engaged, but really struggles to settle down from the social component, like comes in, has to be chatty, like is
Mhm.
a bit disruptive always. And when I think about my clients, these genius women who are out there on a mission, trying to just get their ideas out there, trying to connect, trying to spread their unique perspective. It's like, and you're never going, that's not a problem. You're never going to kind of dim that down. And so when I think about you and your incredible company that has saved my ass so many times when I really, really value, like, I value my clients, I value my friends and my family. I like to
Mhm.
show up with a gift, but I'm a type B girly, so I can be a little last minute,
Yeah.
and to have someone that just has my back with gifting and really, like, trusts herself and her unique, most interesting perspective. Like, you're the expert in gifting. I have great intention, I have great love, I show up with, you know, authentic, like, genuine intention to just, like, connect and to give, but, sometimes I my ability to find the right thing that says that thing is
Mhm.
just not as good as yours, which is why I
Yeah.
have you.
Well, I appreciate your trust, and you do trust me. You rarely ever see the gifts I've created, and you don't ask, and
No, I'm
that
pretty
is
sure one landed
ultimate
yesterday,
trust,
right?
right?
One of the gifts that you sent landed yesterday, and I haven't even seen it yet. So I
Yeah,
can't
well,
wait.
that is the ultimate trust, and I'm curious, like, were you always this? Because I always say I don't get to do what I do if it weren't for thoughtful people like you. So,
Mm.
like my clients thank me, but thank you because if you first didn't have a thought to want to celebrate someone in your life, I couldn't do what I do. So, you are really the MVP here. But I'm curious to know, like, do you think, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but like, have you always been someone like a giving person? Is it something that you had to decide to because I know you're big on making decisions.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think yes. I think that, they usually in a relationship, personal development, they will say that there's one person who's the love giver and more one person that's the love the receiver. I definitely have always been the giver. I don't feel like my thoughts are fully expressed until they're outside of me. I'm a
Yeah.
verbal processor as well as just, I need the love to be manifested into some sort of action. Now, in the hierarchy of love languages, I wouldn't say that gifts has ever actually been my highest love language, but I think that could possibly also be because, I never spent my money that way. And I always found myself like without the money to spend, I thought. And now that I'm more thoughtful with my money and really am able to I teach all of my clients budgeting. I teach them to assign every dollar a role and to think about your money philosophy, your core values. Are you spending in alignment with that? And now that I've done that work so intentionally myself, I realize actually I really did want to be more of a giver of physical gifts, but
Mhm.
I never seemed to have the intention to have the money left over. And now actually, having you and having the year of gifting subscription has allowed me to be more future focus in my giving so that I just know if at bare minimum, and I do way more than 12 gifts, but at bare minimum, I have a gift a month that I'm giving to someone, I'm really thinking in advance, like,
Mhm,
oh, okay, this is something that I care about, that I'm investing in, that I'm budgeting towards, and
mhm.
I have the freedom to be spontaneous about it. We had a situation where my neighbor had this horrible situation to her where she was like
Yeah,
catfished for a puppy, and it was just, she was so
heartbreaking.
sad, she was heartbroken, she was crying, and I was just like, Andrea needs to come in and save the day. Like, I just didn't know what to give her because it's some of these situations, right? Giving, it's like such a specific, unique situation. And it was just like, I knew that
Mhm.
you would know exactly what to give for that situation. And it
Yeah,
was, I mean, the after effect, the ripple effect it has for someone to feel like, wow, not only did you think of me to get me a gift, but like the quality speaks to, wow, like you care about me this much. And I've never actually been able to give a gift that I think matched the quality of love that I have for my friends and
right.
family until I hired you.
Yeah. Well, leave it to you to be intentionally spontaneous. So you have decided that you would like to pour love into the people in your life all year long. And this is something, well, we try to plan at the beginning of the
We
year.
try.
And you always end up adding and adding and adding because you are just so full of love. But I think with the neighbor, and I understand, like, just wanting to I think what I loved about you wanting to gift your neighbor something in a moment where she was experiencing all these feelings and heartbreak essentially, is that you made that connection, that that energetic exchange is going to help her and move something
Mhm.
along, like, and just a moment of acknowledgement, which is at the core
Yeah.
of what we do at Panier Cadeau. It's not just about sending gifts, but it's about acknowledging someone, and which is what I think that you instinctively are good at. So I just
Well,
want to
thank
acknowledge
you
you.
so much. And yeah, for anyone who's like really thinking about this of like, oh yeah, how do I acknowledge people and am I acknowledging people? I would say that like I was putting in effort there, but there is just something different about having something that is quality coming at a time of need because how many people were coming and were like, "Oh yeah, like let me get you." I don't even know when I do the teachers gift baskets, for
Mhm,
example. It's like
mhm,
previously, I was almost embarrassed to give teachers gifts because I was like, "Oh, this is just so basic." Like, I didn't even know
mhm.
how to approach it, and especially for a relationship like that, with my son's 1st grade teacher, this was a teacher, a person in my son's life who changed the trajectory of his life. Like, I could not put a price. I continue to get gifts for her even though he's in 3rd grade now because the relationship, that acknowledgement of what she has done is so great that sometimes they're really just you have to trust someone that is better at this acknowledgement than you. It's so
Yeah,
nice. It's like having, I always say I'm all about creating a life team and my
mhm,
support systems of people who are better at different things than
yes,
me, right? I have a fitness coach, I have a business coach. I have been considering actually hiring like a spiritual mentor as I'm thinking about the ways that I want to be intentional with my kids and teaching them about
mhm,
spirituality and yeah, and gifting. It's just like such a overlooked it's an overlooked branch of a support system. Like, we think of, like, a house cleaner or, like, a personal
mhm,
trainer or whatever this is, but when you think about the importance of having moments to acknowledge and even people that are already there in your life over and over again, like,
yeah.
my mother-in-law, for example, we are gifting her this month. Hopefully, she's not watching this video. No, she doesn't have social media. But she does watch YouTube, so I don't know where this is going, but she
I think
yeah.
you're good.
Yeah, she was like, she it can be easy for us to take for granted and underappreciate the people that are the most important to us.
That's
And
true.
so actually when you take it outside of us, sometimes the instinct is like, oh, it's less personal
Mhm.
because I didn't pick it out. But actually the process when you work with Andrea is like, especially if you're on her higher level tiers, it's like she is so thoughtful in the way that she curates this things. She asks high quality questions. And in some cases, even when she isn't asking questions, she gets to know her clients, right? So she doesn't have to. She's that good
Very
at it.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you answered something that I was curious to know if there was someone in your life who had impacted you. And I would say, like, your son's first grade teacher is one of those
Mm,
people where you just felt the need to reciprocate. But, like, was there a moment along, and I don't know, people may not know this about you, but you were originally the happiness scientist, right?
yes, that
So
was my first title.
which I think ties in, obviously, like this human experience is relationships amplify the human experience. And when you nurture that and gift giving is a way, and I'll I'll be honest, at the very beginning, I struggled, and you know this, with the material side of it. Like,
Mhm.
why is giving material objects, so important to human connection? Like
Mm.
it wasn't really aligning for me, but it was something that I really enjoyed doing. And now I do understand as I've done this work for a few years. And I think as you grow and you can be 5 years in, 10 years, and you learn so much more about your craft and about yourself, which is such an interesting part of the process for me and why I love mentorship so much because
Yeah, go ahead. Finish that thought.
no, I want you to go.
Well, I was just gonna say that you mentioned why is it so important to have a physical thing, and I don't know that I would have really had a good answer for you until I started working with you more regularly. But okay, sitting on my desk right now is this water bottle that Andrea gifted to me in a basket that she actually gifted to me. But this water bottle she gifted to me because it had gone into the baskets of two different people that I had gifted over the years. One is a friend, one is my mom, and I see them with this water bottle
Mhm.
all of the time. And when they are living their life and when they have something quality and when they're constantly getting compliments on every single item that goes into your baskets, they're not just, they're thinking of me every time. And
Yeah.
so it's the gift that keeps giving because you really don't forget a Panier Cadeau basket, and so you don't forget a Panier Cadeau item, and so it's not like one of those things where you're like, "Oh, like, I forget who got this for me." It's like they know, they remember,
Yeah.
they say it all the time. Now when Emma and I go to a workout class, we both bring our water bottles, and everyone's like, "Where you guys are part of a club? Like, where'd you get this water bottle?" And we're like, "Panier Cadeau, obviously."
Yeah. So that was exactly what ended up happening. So, in questioning all of this, because I question everything, as you know, I knew that my product had to be useful and sustainable. And that for me also is a way of showing respect to your recipient. You know,
Yeah.
we want things to last. And then when you kind of switch it over to business and when you get into corporate gifting, you do want to stay top of mind, right? Like
Mhm.
relationship building in business is so important. Trust, loyalty, and it's what builds communities. So that was what my intention ended up being as I was intentional in
Mhm.
where I wanted my business to go and having clients like you. So we have the unique experience of being each other's clients. So we get to see different aspects of each other. But
Mhm.
having clients like you who, are also intentional in just the way they live your life,
Mhm.
the way they live their lives is makes my job so much easier and so much more fun. And fun is what you teach above all else. You have to have fun. You have to have fun when doing the taxes and
Absolutely.
everything.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, can I tell you a story that is I've never told anyone because it was just like yesterday? We're
Okay.
buying a house and yes, and so there is a tax that we have never paid because we have never paid for a house that was over $1 million. This one is. And so the tax is called a mansion tax. And it is the exact cost of what it costs to pay in full for my mastermind, right? And why am I bringing this up? Because my husband was like, "Oh my gosh, we just got hit with these fees unexpected. Like I hadn't baked them in. Like what a pain." And I was like, "What is it?" And he's like, "Ugh, I'm gonna tell you, and you're gonna be like, 'This is so fun.'"
Of course
And
you
he
will.
just knew before he said it. I was like, "Are you kidding me? It's my dream. I'm paying a mansion fee. That's the
Yeah.
most fun fee to ever pay." Right? And when I think about this process of gifting and thinking about like my own life and the way that I like to spend my time, it's like I want to give the gift. I want to think of the thoughtful thing to say, but I don't want to put it together. I don't enjoy that. That is
Yeah.
not a good use of my time. I don't want to be looking for it, searching for it, trying to curate it. And
Mhm.
in the end, I would end up spending more money and time anyway than hiring
Yeah.
you, and it wouldn't come out nearly as good.
Mhm. That's so fun. That's such a funny story because I know what you're thinking is I'm paying a mansion tax, which means I bought a mansion,
Yeah.
which is goals. And I think like it's so important for people to think about that because like we often gripe about the things that all these bills we have to pay. And it's something that I constantly try to remind myself, though I'm not the one, actually paying the bills. We know this, my husband does everything. But the fact that
Not everything.
well, true. But when it comes to bills, I'm allergic to numbers, but we're working on that.
Not anymore, you're not.
Yeah. So I think though that when you pay your water bill, it means that you have running water, like you have the luxury. Um,
Yeah.
running water and the electricity bill and all these things, and it's like you've already consumed these things and then you gripe about having to pay for them, but there also is an example of an energetic exchange, right? Like because money is
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, and also, like, you are you give me a lot of credit for who I am and why it's easy for you to serve me, but I don't think that I'm unique as a client of yours in that like we love to pay for your service. We genuinely love to pay for it because just every single time a there are multi layers of the process that I'm
Mhm.
removed from and or I'm brought into that I otherwise wouldn't have even thought to do that is in line with, again, both the luxury of convenience, but the luxury of having someone that's an expert, like, really hold you in what is the best way to honor and acknowledge and share and
Mhm.
give and show love to someone.
Right. So it first starts with just understanding that this is something that's important to you, and then the recognition that I don't necessarily enjoy putting these gifts together. I don't have the time to do it. So I'm going to outsource this
Yeah.
to the expert. And I think that that's something that really, see, we live in a world where things are so transactional now. And specifically, again, in business, because we're both in business. And, like communication specifically can be transactional and quick. So
Mm.
finding ways and finding creative ways to still add to the human side of business because, involves people, I feel is so important. And this was meant to be a quick conversation, but before I let you go, I have some rapid fire questions. Just,
Ooh,
yeah, just three of them. So, like, you work with the most interesting people in the world. What's one trait they tend to have that people might not expect?
they wouldn't expect. All of my clients are they value slow time. I
Hmm.
think that a lot of what we work on and a lot of what my clients are outward facing is like speedy people. Like they're ambitious, they're go getters, they are out there doing all the things. They tend to be this person that does a lot of things for other people in their lives. They love action, they love to be in the center of things, but they also really value just like time to be and time to be slow. And I think that what makes a person really interesting is a juxtaposition, right? It's like I am
Mhm.
not just one thing. I like to go fast and I like to go slow. And I see the value of working hard and playing hard and also doing nothing hard.
Yeah. I say that I'm a walking juxtaposition because,
Hmm.
like, I am not, like, ever really one thing. Even, like, my decor style, I like light and airy, but I also equally like dark and moody.
Mm,
It just depends, on the day and the
yes,
mood and the energy. So, but I take different things from these 2 styles. So that is
girl.
something that I can attest to. That is true. You do encourage us to embrace all sides and
Both
not
sides.
exactly. Okay, so that was great. Thank you. What's something small someone could do to make you think, wow, that person is really thoughtful?
Mm, I am not good at this, which is why I notice it so much. But when I leave someone and they send me a message letting me know, like in a
Mhm.
very specific way, that it was nice to get together and they enjoyed this one moment, or they're thinking about this thing now because of this conversation, I just like love a follow up. I think like a follow up, it takes very little time and yet it lets someone know you're still thinking of them, which makes
Mhm.
it know it was impactful. And I am one of those people that I always say, like, I am where my feet are. And so the second that I leave somewhere, I tend to like immediately be in that next spot. When I leave work, I'm with my kids. I'm with my kids. I'm not thinking about work. And
Right.
that has comes with pros and cons. But I just like I find it so heartwarming and it makes me feel like, oh, you're so thoughtful when people follow up and say, like, it was so good to see you, or it was so good
Mhm.
that we did this.
Yeah, that's something I appreciate as well on a personal note.
Mhm.
And finally, what's a quality that instantly makes someone interesting to you? I
Okay.
guess that would be like the first thing you notice about someone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, probably when someone is not dressed for the occasion, but they're dressed for their mood. I love fashion. I love fashion so much. I love
Mhm.
unexpected fashion. I love experimenting with fashion and expressing myself in new ways. And I went to my son's, he's doing American Ninja Warrior Junior training,
Such a
and
cool kid.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I went last night and there's like a group of the parents and like they're all so cool too, right? Their kids are cool. And I love to see them, but I normally wear, like, athleisure there, but I just, was feeling
Yeah.
a mood of like, "Oh, I wanna get dressed up. It's gross out. I wanna feel whatever." And I
Mhm.
wore this, like, tulle skirt and this sweater that says entrepreneur and a hat and then, like, sparkle boots, and I, like,
Told
show up
you.
and they were like, "You look so fancy, like, where are you coming from or where are you going?" And I was
Mhm.
like, "What an odd question, like, can we just dress for our mood? Why would we dress for the dress code or dress for the occasion?" It's like,
Mhm.
dress for your mood. So, yeah, that gets my attention when other people do that.
That is such a you. That is so Jess, like, that embodies, like that encapsulates everything that you embody. And when I first met you, and you've heard this story a million times, but it's one of the things that I found interesting about you. I mean, like, you weren't dressed crazy or anything, but you had just had a baby, like, not so long ago. And, you showed up and you weren't like the cliche new mom where you were just like, tired and but you spoke with such enthusiasm, and that's how you do everything. That's how you dress, that's how you coach. My son was with me when we started our coaching call yesterday, and he just heard you go, "What's up, party people?" Like, okay, that's not how my calls at work go, but he also works at a financial institute, so I don't.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know if you saw my reel today that I posted of, leading into this idea where people are like, "Oh, you think you're a special snowflake, don't you? You think you're a little unicorn." And I was like, "Hmm, me rolling up to my multi six figure a year job at 11 a.m. to teach
Yeah.
people investment strategy and also how to not be a wet mop about it because the economy is made up anyway." Me. Yeah,
Uh,
kind of. I think I do think I'm I'm a special unicorn. And it's
yeah.
like, yeah, like you guys all are. That is one of the things about the what we stand for inside of the most interesting women in the world is like everyone has something really special and unique. And when we stop trying to play to get people to think a certain way about us, and when we show up exactly how we want to show up in that moment, knowing some people might be confused, some people might be rubbed the wrong way. Oh, someone's going to see me in pigtails and assume that I can't teach them about wealth. Well, what if my intention is to just break that stereotype and be the first person that redefines what it looks like to be someone who
Mhm.
understands how to strategize about long term wealth?
Right. So that's basically what you tell us almost daily to find things, do the uncomfortable thing.
Mm,
And recently, I heard someone say on a podcast, try showing up to like a fancy event with no makeup on. Just try, and I know that's something that you also pride yourself in. Like you
yeah.
can, or you know, you will wear makeup or you won't.
Hmm.
So you're not that heavily invested in
Yeah.
that. And I was thinking, could I actually have a wedding next month? I'm like, could I actually go to that wedding without makeup? Probably not, but eventually.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, the idea of beauty and so much of everything you curate really is aesthetically so beautiful. The definition of beauty, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but like when someone says that you have exquisite taste, I think there's just like what they really mean is that it's it's thoughtful. It is says something. It
Hmm.
is and you find a way to, like, feel good in your own skin, and so I don't always feel good without makeup, but some days I do, and, like, sometimes I don't know what it is, maybe just a little more sleep or a little more sunshine that makes me feel a
Hmm.
certain way, or my hair is done, but maybe I don't have my makeup, or genuinely, like, I just am having an amazing day. And my thoughts are thinking about other people. And when I'm thinking about where we're going, when I'm thinking about you, when I'm thinking about giving, when we're thinking about the things that really matter to us, you're not going to have time or a space to think about the things that don't matter. So, yes, that's why we try and make decisions in advance, like putting people around us who can support our values. And if you value giving and you have not hired Andrea yet, I don't mean really just for one basket, although do that for sure. If I don't understand why everyone is not a part of your premium, like, year of gifting subscription because it is if you can't think of 12 people that you would gift, like,
Yeah.
what? Come on.
Yeah. And if you can't think of 12 people you would gift, maybe start thinking about becoming that person
Mm,
or the benefit of becoming that person and start from there. Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, my friend.
my
This was so
pleasure.
fun. And where can people find you?
You can find me over at Jess McKinley Uyeno on Instagram. It's kind of a complex spelling, but I'm sure maybe you'll tag
I'll
me in
include
here,
it. Yeah.
Uyeno. And or on if you're a podcast listener, I have a podcast called Fun Money. You can search me or my
Good one.
name over there. Yeah, and we talk about all things money behind the scenes with the most interesting women in the world.
And I am sure the most interesting women in the world will be kicking your door down after this interview. Thank you so much.
All right,
And
darling.
I love you.
We'll see you later. Love you.